Blizzard Entertainment will become Insight in 2020? Leak spoilers? Clickbait? Probably, let's face it. But I couldn't help but resist cover this one because honestly, reading through this before earlier seemed pretty believable in points. But obviously, it's a bit much. It's pretty extreme, so let's get to it, shall we? Blizzard leak here. Blizzard Entertainment is being dissolved early 2022. It is going to be replaced by a new team called Insight. That will be a more direct part of the name renamed Activision Insight. Much of Blizzard, though not all, will be sacked and replaced with new employees for Insight. Diablo is considered by far the most promising franchise at this point. Diablo 4 has 3 planned expansions, a remake of the original Diablo is in the works, and Diablo Immortal will receive a PC and console release a year after its mobile release. And an untitled PvP game for Diablo will begin development under Insight. The Diablo team, like the Hearthstone team, will be mostly unaffected by the company's shifts. So Diablo's where it's at, apparently. But there's more. World of Warcraft is entering official maintenance mode. The little work that was already put into the expansion after Shadowlands will be released 9.3 sometime in 2023. 9.3, despite the name, has nothing to do with Shadowlands. It's just made up of salvaged stuff from 10.0. So not too sure what to think of that one. As for classic servers, they'll be merged into 1 or 2 with the launch of Wattle. That's Wrath of the Lich King. Classic in 2023. This will be the last Classic expansion planned. I mean, that would be a safe bet to assume that Wrath of the Lich King Classic would be the last one, and then there might be a Classic Plus, be it TBC Classic, Wrath of the Lich King Classic Plus, or even Vanilla Classic Plus. Because if Blizzard want to keep making money, they might just be able to get away with it, and it's not too much work for them because the game's... Oh, actually, no, it is a bit of work for them because re-releasing the vanilla, the TBC, the Wrath of the Lich King, that's all done. Technically, having to create a plus would mean having to create new raids, new content, and I don't think Blizzard are actually going to do that, so yeah, actually, maybe scrap that. A new untitled World of Warcraft successor MMO is in the works, looking to take a lot from Final Fantasy. This is going to be developed by a majority new team than those who made and worked on WoW. It is not a sequel, but a total reboot with new lore. Currently only in the planning stage, the base game will focus on Phalaensis, the Eastern Kingdoms, and Outland, with playable races from both worlds. It is currently believed to not have factions. It will not borrow from Hearthstone, which will remain separate and continually updated with new expansions. So I think, yeah, if Blizzard want to sort of keep control of the MMO business, they kind of have to make a WoW 2.0. Not necessarily World of Warcraft, but, you know, like another new engine for an MMO. But will they? Will they just go down the mobile road instead? Because they say here, a Warcraft mobile MMO RPG project has been in the works since 2019 and will continue under Insight, focusing on drawing in an audience in China. It is separate from the new PC MMO. The last report said it was canon to WoW, though it is unknown whether this will change with WoW entering maintenance mode. So this is the most believable part of all of this so far, is the Warcraft MMO. Sorry, the Warcraft mobile game being pandered towards China. That's pretty much a given at this point, especially if Blizzard want money. A Hearthstone spin-off game is coming out. It is going to build off the auto battler modes added. I've not played a Hearthstone in ages, and I don't know what their auto battler is, but I'm thinking like teamfight tactics and stuff like that. I really enjoyed like that auto battler style of play. So if they could do something like that, it'd be interesting. But I don't know if it's how it's going to play, how it's actually going to be. Is it going to be like the teamfight tactics, or is it going to be something completely different? Overwatch is believed to be unsalvageable, failing to capture any modern interest. Overwatch 2 has been cancelled, as have multiple smaller mobile projects set in the same universe. Overwatch in late 2022 will receive the maps and heroes plan for Overwatch 2, but not the PvE modes. A Netflix original series is in the works and seems unaffected by these cancellations. Yeah, Overwatch 2, man. Like, that dropped. Overwatch just dropped in popularity. I don't know when that happened. Was it when Apex Legends came out, or Fortnite? No, Fortnite's been around for a while. I don't know. But for the time that Overwatch came out, it was like the biggest deal. I don't know if you guys were around when it happened, but it was the biggest deal when Overwatch was announced. For the first year or two, Everyone was obsessed with this game. Everyone wanted to see this game. It was massive on Twitch. It was getting huge followings. All sorts of obsession. Any YouTube channels that covered Overwatch were getting massive amounts of views per video. I saw that. I witnessed it. I was there. And then at some point, Overwatch just kind of almost became a meme or something and just died. It's when they entered esports. I think so to some degree. Like, people, half and half. Half were supporting it and half were like, they didn't want it to take itself as seriously as it did because it wasn't really as serious as, say, CSGO or any of those kind of games. But yeah, now there's like almost no audience there for Overwatch 2 as far as I know. So we'll see what happens with that. Basically kind of a dead game before it's even been released. Although Overwatch 2, as far as I suspect, and many others, is just a copy-paster of Overwatch with nicer graphics. Kind of similar to what Blizzard have done with a lot of games when you think about it, like Warcraft 3. All they really did with Warcraft 3 was just basically update the graphics with horrific graphics, but that's what they did. They didn't do much else to the game. In fact, they actually didn't put in things that were originally in the game. So there's that. Diablo 2 Resurrected, I've been playing some of that. It's fine, but it's the same clunky game it always was, just with new graphics. I mean, it's better than the Reforged got, in a sense, because it's actually playing quite smoothly, from my experience. But it's just basically a graphics rehaul. So Starcraft got the same thing, so yeah, it just seems that way. There it goes. Starcraft, speaking of which, is completely abandoned in any way, shape or form. There are no plans for new RTS or MOBA of any kind. I mean, they haven't really done anything for Starcraft in ages. It's kind of crazy to think how long Blizzard's been making games for, and Starcraft was one of their earlier ones. And you've only got a Starcraft 2. You know? The Starcraft 1 and Starcraft 2. It never managed to make it to 3, did it? Because their franchises and lead characters like Sylvanas, Tracer, and Kerrigan no longer... Well, to be fair, actually, the reason why it probably didn't make it free is because the first two were so well received. Like, StarCraft 2 obviously fell off, but when it originally came out, it's massive. StarCraft holds up, so they're really good games that hold up, so maybe they never needed that third. Anyway, because their franchises and lead characters like Sylvanas, Tracer, and Kerrigan no longer capture people's imaginations like they used to, there's been a lot of work done on developing a new IP. Do you remember that new hero that came out for Heroes of the Storm? I can't even remember her name. But they were basically trying to create like a new kind of IP around that, weren't they? So I don't know what happened with that. Heroes of the Storm, yeah, that's not even been mentioned here. After 3 cancelled projects, they have one they've been working on since early 2020, set in a unique fantasy universe. It will debut with a gacha-style RPG and will be announced at either Gamescom or E3 next year. So again, anything that's going to make Blizzard money, I believe. BlizzCon 2022 has been cancelled, but I'm certain you've all guessed that. So that's BlizzCon Line. That's not even BlizzCon, like a 2022. BlizzCon Line. Has it really been cancelled? Because I thought they were going to do like the same sort of thing, like in February or whatever. I mean, maybe. The first one, I mean, that BlizzCon 2021 was bad. That was not received well. It was boring. And it felt like they didn't put in much effort at all. A lot of the discussions that were had for each of the panels of the games were kind of pointless Q&A questions that didn't need to be asked or answered. It felt like they didn't put much effort into compacting a whole ton of info. They would just had like this almost ranting, rambling style to it, and it was just vague and lacked sustenance. Sustenance? Substance. I think that's what I'm looking for. Speaking of sustenance, hydrate. So, yeah, what do you guys think? Do you guys believe in any of this? The Diablo Immortal, Hearthstone, Diablo 4, the effort into that, World of Warcraft, maybe a World of Warcraft 2.0 MMO. Classic stopping at Wrath of the Lich King, or will it be a Classic Plus for Vanilla, TBC, or Wrath of the Lich King? The Warcraft mobile game, Hearthstone spin-off being an auto battler, and Overwatch basically being abandoned. Yeah, there's a lot here. Certainly fun to theorycraft. How much of this is... I mean, one of the biggest parts is really the Blizzard being dissolved into Insight. Now, the only reason why I would think any of this is somewhat believable is because if you actually do look at the recent state of Blizzard and Activision Blizzard, it's all driven by money. Now, I know all video games are driven by money. It's a business. We get that. We know. They made money over years before Activision Blizzard came in. So, Activision Blizzard popped in and really changed how the game works, the whole game for all of the Blizzard games. And if you look at the figures of how much they make from Call of Duty in comparison to like World of Warcraft and that, it's astronomical. Or their King mobile games, like Blizzard is actually like a very small fraction. So that's why this is almost more believable that it will just be like dissolved. It will just be like brought into the bigger picture of Activision, and they'll just go and take the talent from Blizzard that's left and work on more mobile games and stuff like that. It just seems kind of obvious. Like, honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if any of this is true, as over the top and dramatic as a lot of it seems. It kind of seems just on par with the direction they've been taking lately, so yeah. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. Do like and subscribe if you enjoyed this, and let me know what you think. Certainly piqued my curiosity when I saw this. Take care.